continued to drop and attack. He also killed the robotics, which meant no more Colossi. And he just kept splitting against the Storms and kept eventually overwhelming Classic, because Classic had this solid AoE force, but it needed to be all together. And he just couldn't fight. Like, TY was never going to give him a fight, though he could fight together.
Classic was trying to play catch-up with the greedy game. He was trying to go for that late-game army. But, it was kind of the exact thing that TY had to do, just trying to avoid it as quickly as possible.
All right, guys, the third map, the final map. We're just going to decide who's going to be the first player to join the round of 8 is going to be Bonnie Research Station. TY versus Classic. Let's jump into the final game.
Push it.
In top center, it's TY, KT Rolster's player here, the challenger, the one trying to defeat the most recent Star League champion to move to the round of 8.
Another great map for his greedy openings as well. Can get up to 3cc pretty easily. Down here in the south, the player that has to stop him from doing that early, it is Classic. Really being tested in that game too. Maybe this time we'll see a proxy Stargate or something that might try and slow him down. Maybe he just has to be a little bit more careful with how he deals with these drops. Maybe a Phoenix opening might be the select choice.
Let me ask you a question, because you're a pro gamer. You've played in big tournaments like this on big stages in front of large crowds and stuff like that. When you play a game 3 like this in the winner's part of a group, do you ever feel like more comfortable doing all-ins because you're in the winner's match, or does that even really kind of go into your mind? Like, what would you say from a pro gamer's perspective?
It's certainly less pressure than if you're in the losers bracket and you're like at game 3 and it's like depending on your game life. I feel like the other players in the group shouldn't be too much of a problem for Classic, so he shouldn't feel too pressured about this. He could go for it if he wants to, but I think he is confident enough to just take it to the late game again and be like, okay, you got me that game. I understand what you're doing that beat me. This time around, I'm not going to let these drops happen. Probably Phoenix will be the choice because Classic loves to go Phoenix. He loves to go Phoenix Colossi and transition from there, as we did see in Game 1. So I don't think any risks will really be had. The player that should take the risks maybe would be TY, considering he's considered the lesser player, though after last game I'm questioning that.
Sure. I really like how Classic probe scouts early game in this matchup, because CC first is actually so prominent right now on the meta that the responses to it are totally different, you know? And when you know a Reaper's coming, you need to respond to that as well differently. You know, do you make the Zealot or not? Because if it's CC first, you don't have to. You don't have to worry about that as much. But if it's going for, you know, a Reaper opening like this, you make the Zealot, you cancel it just to make sure that the SCV doesn't get too blocky there with the eBay. Excuse me, with the eBay. And you know, we're going to see the Reaper actually stay at home to deny any further scouting.
Certainly one way to... Yeah, I don't mind that at all. It's also going to give him the option to scout for proxies very shortly as well, which is so important. It's such a dangerous thing on this kind of map as well.
Yeah, but it looks like Classic, even though I really would love to see him do it, he's just going to stay at home. He's got his 3 pylons up there. He's got no probe on the map.
Look at that, 3rd CC. So once again, TY looking for that momentum early, going to throw down all the economies, get the economy up and running as quickly as possible. From there, have that very powerful mid-game. When Medivacs come online, he's going to be looking to take apart Classic once again. He tries that 3rd.
Stargate, though, Moonglade, not proxied, but still a good choice. It's a great aggressive follow-up against someone who has a low Marine count. And we'll have to split their Marines between 2 bases. If he doesn't have an eBay, if he doesn't have a turret up, this could do a ton of damage.
Oh, look at this. Reaper looking for a way in, taking a lot of damage.
Yeah, he didn't cancel that Zealot, so he's saying no.
It's interesting that he decided to invest into that Zealot.
Does definitely help him deny the Scout here on the Stargate, which would be so nice for TY to have right now. And, you know, if he's going to approach on this map, I guess you usually do kind of have to go through the ramp, so...
Yeah, look how late the engineering bay is compared to game before
Yeah.
Stargate.
The turret should be able to finish like right as this is arriving, but it's going to be Phoenixes
Okay.
again.
I do like this. I did expect this as well. Classic, he loves his Phoenixes. He's mostly just going to use it for a scout by the looks of things. And this means, he's going to be able to shut down TY. TY is going to be forced to be a little bit more turtly than he'd like. And therefore, it's going to be a lot harder for him to build momentum in terms of aggression in that mid-game like we did see last game.
We have the Robo coming up now. And TY, with this late eBay, actually gets, a decent amount of Marines out with that second barracks and can start stem a lot faster. And everything kind of lines up decently for him here. This is an important scout. He's going to let him know, okay, you got a CC, you don't have to worry about drops.
Yeah, he's like, the timing is very similar to last game. He's like, okay, so this is what's going to happen. This is how you did it last game. You're going to apply pressure with that bio army at the front. It's going to force me to, be a little bit more defensive. But then you're going to wait until Medivacs to really start the pressure, really start the aggression. And so if he hides these Phoenix for long enough, if he wants to invest into them, you can catch him out and do a lot of damage early.
Looks like he's going to show the second Phoenix, but that's still it's still a low count. As soon as he sees that third CC, he brings the gateway units out. He knows he doesn't have to worry about defending anything. Goes and clears up the Reaper, drops the Nexus. So TY knows there's a third Nexus here now coming up. But let's see. He's going to show two Phoenixes again. They can get like a kill or two of some SCVs that are positioned, like this one building the depot. Second SCV transferring, you might be able to grab that one too. So, decides to let it go because the turret's there, but still a little bit of damage done. Going to grab this one. Slow down that factory, which then further slows down the Medivacs.
Yeah, just pretty much sees everything he needs to. And you're seeing that Immortal investment once again as well.
Yeah, just so much safety here. I really like how he does this. Going to probably drop the Forge in a second, just like we saw last game. Get the Immortal first. The extra gateways first. This Observer is in such a great spot. It's so hard to see that because you can't actually even see the blur when it's on top of that.
Now, I'm wondering if we are going to see Phoenix be invested in once again as well. 2 Phoenix so far, but 5, 6 is really the number you want to shut down Medivac drops, at least early on. And this Bio Army is actually going to be a threat this time because that Nexus isn't finished. Now the Immortal's out there, you can fight it.
Yeah. Good control here by TY, and Stim is almost done. If he had Stim, I think he could do so much more here, but just going to have to back off.
At least for now.
Ooh, a second starport, man. I think this could be the game we see the SCV pull.
Could very well be. It was similar to the first game when we did see that huge investment into Vikings. Once he saw that Phoenix tech online, so he's like, okay, this is the same sort of deal. Maybe he will pull the boys this time. I'd love to see him pull the boys in this situation.
It would be so good against what Classic is doing. Classic is restarting Phoenix production. He's still only shown 2. This is a scary moment for TY. Part of the reason why I might be adding that second starport is for the Vikings in case it's mass Phoenix, because only 2 Phoenixes have been shown, but there's really no way for him to check whether he's making Phoenixes or not unless he scans, which then he could just simply miss the Phoenixes, so it'd be a wasted investment. So it's really scary.
It's always a safe investment when you do see Phoenix on the map like this. Like, okay, I actually have to invest in more Vikings than usual. And as well, back to that thought about the pulling the boys, going for that all-in. The third base on this map is so exposed compared to the previous map. He was thinking about going it on. There's a much better chance that we'll have success. Such a bigger concave. Force field's going to be a lot less effective. Vikings going to have a much better spread or a much better position if they want. So everything would go in TY's favor if he was looking for that. Well, let's see if he is. Mind you, we actually aren't even seeing Colossus tech right now. We're seeing a fast Templar Archives and a lot of Immortals being invested in.
Yeah. Well, that means the Vikings become a lot more, I'd just say it's not as useful.
They're just not useful.
I'm like, the word more is not the one I want here.
No, they're just
less.
They're actually just become pretty redundant after the Phoenix have been killed.
Paper airplanes up there, man.
Quick Storm. So he's a mind reader right now. He's really inside the head of TY. He's like, okay, I know what you're looking for right now, and this is how I'm going to deal with it. Immortal, Templar. We're going back to the basics.
Classic's so good at this matchup, and I want to actually put a random fact out there. A lot of people don't know this. For the first, I'd say almost 6 months or so of Classic's career when he was on STX Seoul, when he switched to Starcraft 2, he played Terran exclusively. He was a Terran player who switched to Protoss. A lot of people don't know that. So he does know a lot of the intricacies of this matchup that some other Protoss players would not know. I think that's part of the reason why he's so able to read moments like this that Depot never finished. But yeah, just something to note for those who didn't know that.
It's a scout off of the army. He sees the composition. He's like, okay, you invested in the Vikings. It's going to be a little bit easier for me, but that scan sees everything he needs to see. He's like, oh, I need Ghosts ASAP, as you actually skipped out on the Colossus.
Oh, if he actually goes for this, there's so many feedbacks available. This could be a mistake. Okay, he sees those Templars, like, nah, never mind. He's got all those medevacs on such high energy that feedbacks could do some serious work.
Yeah, that's the last thing you want right now. Currently still no Ghost Academy.
But a second eBay, though.
Well, I guess he is planning to go late game here.
Oh, I really like this. He sees there's like no stalkers again. The Classic is very low on that last game as well. He's just trying to find these Phoenixes. He's getting a good scout off here, and he might have been able to find the Mothership Core if he were lucky. That would have been a huge pick.
Yeah, that would have been huge. Down to that third base. And, you know, Classic could just look for a big attack here. You know, he's pretty primed to do it. The army composition of TY right now is so inefficient.
It's the worst composition you can make against what Classic has done. It's almost pure Marine versus Storms. I mean, he's sprinkling more Marauders in little by little, but just the Vikings are totally useless as well. He's trying to find something with them.
Look at that, he's trying to posture up a little bit. Looks like he wants to try and snipe a couple of Templar if he can.
Just looking for anything. He wants a Mothership Core so bad. He wants it so much. Just not with this army. He doesn't know where it is. It's at the third base currently. It's hanging out over there. TY's army is starting to get better. He's adding Widowmines in, which can be quite good against, you know, Templar, Charge Zealot type compositions, but it's not ready yet. And Classic's in a great position to do serious damage if they engage, if they have a fight.
Yeah, more and more Zealots coming in. Both players nearly maxed out as well. So I think Classic will go for the fight soon when he gets a chance, because he knows there's a lot of dead supply in TY's army in terms of Vikings as well. Currently sitting at about 7 Vikings right now. Big stem.
Yeah, big stem here. Just disengages. There are 8 medevacs. He can heal that up pretty quick, but doesn't want to be doing that too many times. A Widowmine drop with Drilling Claws now heading across the map. TY's trademark today. All about the Widowmines.
A lot of Zealots going down, so he's down about 20 supply now. Needs to start to fix that, warp in more, but looks like he might be just considering a Warp Prism play here at the top right of the map, but doesn't really have the supply for it at this point. Maybe looking for another fight before then.
Unfortunately, he shows it. The Vikings are going to come over here and deal with this, which means, you know, this is not too much bad for TY here because there's only one Colossus on the map, so the Vikings not too useful. He's doing a big drop here in the main.
Everything out of position right now. He's going to have to recall if he wants to save this base.
Yeah, he's going to lose his Blink Research, and he's going to lose his Templar Archive as well.
Oh, man, actually, the Mothership Core was not even with the army.
Yeah, it was still at the third base. And now he's going to lose so many pylons here as well. And he doesn't get the Templar Archive, or rather the Twilight Council, but he did stop Blink from finishing.
He's going to get this Nexus for sure if he focuses down. There's no way he can defend against this.
All those Widowmines getting decent shots on this Protoss army as well. Classic, man. He's having some trouble here.
Really out of position. And look at that on the left side of the map at the same time. You see in the mini-map more and more aggression, but Storm's going to clean that one up.
Well, let's see if he reinforces. A lot of that blob on the map, I think, is those Vikings. Yeah, so he's got a decent-sized army here. Kills another Phoenix, which then helps him for the drops, helps him to stop the scouting that the Phoenix has been doing. Classic can stabilize, but that was a lot of damage.
He's got to be careful of a counterattack. That's how TY lost game 1, after kind of being in the situation where he's pulling apart the Protoss. He's finding great amounts of damage with his drops, but eventually, I mean, if you take too many hits, if you get feedback, if you lose your army for nothing, a counterattack across the map can just kill you.
Here we go. He's finding another opportunity here. Big group of medevacs is going to kill this base again. And let's see if Classic turns around. Storm's actually doing a ton of work on this army. He does have to cancel the Nexus. There's not enough Vikings here, I feel like, to really capitalize on this, but you know what? I take it back. This doesn't have any Stalkers nearby. He loses the Mothership Core as well. Classic with some multitasking issues here. Now helping to deal with some of these air units with this Bioforce.
Still a lot of Storms available. 4 Storms with this army, though it's a pretty small army. It can do a lot of damage.
Good splits here, though. Needs to continue to do so. Some more Marines coming back to catch these Immortals. And man, Dream is playing so well right now. I keep saying Dream. As I was saying Dream, I was like, oh my god, I'm doing it again. TY, man.
TY, he's doing a lot. He's got to be careful. He's trading. He's going blow for blow at this point. He's getting too scrappy. He needs to pull back and be defensive because he has done the damage. Oh, 2 Colossus not being used right now. He needs them so badly.
Yeah, Blink is starting to get closer to being finished again, which means when they have these scrappy engagements, the Stalkers can actually chase and kill medevacs. a little bit better. So that's been missing until this point. We're almost at 20 minutes into the game. It's about to finish.
Yeah, he needs the Ghost Academy at some point too. I mean, he's so far ahead that he can kind of forego it for now, but if Classic is to stabilize at some point, his army composition will be a lot stronger. He's not too far behind in supply either.
Yeah. There's a few medevacs back behind this base. Oh, actually, just one. A Marauder in there. No Widowmine with this. Gonna force the mining time to stop here for a second. He's actually gonna come over here with just a Marauder and a Marine. Gonna get shut down. But he's been given enough time to remax, and he's gonna have 3-3. 9 Vikings to 3 Colossi. He needs Ghosts. The Ghost Academy is on the way.
It's really the one thing he's lacking at this point. He's gonna go for another big drop here. 4 Templar in that pocket natural. That would be a lot of feedbacks or some really money storms.
He sees it.
What's his choice? What's his poison? Feedbacks?
Okay,
I think it might be.
Feedback for sure, but he's getting dodged here. These Templar are too slow. They're not going to be there in time. The rest of the Protoss army, though, absolutely in position.
Found 1 Templar for all that. Looking for a second. Finds it, actually. Okay, yeah, and a drop to follow it up here.
While he attacks these cannons on the left side, and Classic is getting split again, his army in all sorts of positions. I feel like it's more important to defend that base on the left side, though, because this base is almost mined out. And there's not too much important tech or anything like that here. It's much more important to save this base.
Yeah, it's going to be hard to find it because he's behind the middle line. He's using mainly Zealots and an Archon here.
He would love those feedbacks you were talking about, but it doesn't look like there's any Templar with this army right now.
The momentum TY's favor in such a big way right now. And look at this, a counterattack looks like is on the cards. You see the mini-map, a lot of blue heading towards that force.
Yep. Coming in here, getting some decent shots up on these Vikings. He needs to deal with them, though. Okay, there's a storm. He saves those Colossi for now. Several of these Vikings, like, in the red, in the yellow, nearly dead. No mining at this base, no mining at this base. Classic is running out of time here to find something to actually work with. Look at the army supply at the top right. He's 20 army supply down, but he's got a good composition. TY is on 3-3.
Oh, he even gets...
Oh, my God.
As if this damage wasn't enough right now. 40 supply lead, 30 supply lead. It's so hard for Classic to do anything right now. He's just being run around the place the whole time. There's still units in that pocket natural, still like applying pressure. This Widowmine is going to be reset in just a second.
Yeah, those 3 Widowmines are actually already reset.
Oh.
Look at this movement here.
Oh my goodness.
TY. He's actually trying to chase a Templar.
He's going to get something.
Gets a Zealot, damages a Stalker. 6 health on that Widowmine.
And Classic can't even attack at this point. He has to be on the completed defensive. He doesn't know where the army is. He's got some observers out, but nowhere on the right side of the map. He's completely in the dark there.
Yeah, there's also, sensor towers stopping things from moving across the map. You know what I think?
Oh, that observer's slightly out of position. And this could be some sickening damage. Oh, that was 4 Templar for nothing. And I think Classic just realized he might just lose this game because you can't take that kind of damage and expect to come back.
1 Marauder even over here. We're going to see another attack to the right side. No Templar over here, so these drops get off for free. And that's been the Achilles heel, man. Right down there at the bottom right of Classic this game. He's just been weak to these drops here. He's not handled them well.
Down it goes again. He's pressuring on that left side, but the whole army is there. He might not want to try and attack it. I think TY's best bet at this point is to keep pulling them apart, avoid the big fight for as long as he can. Even if he can win it, it's such a dangerous thing against Protoss, because if they do win that fight and they jump on top of your production, you could just lose the game.
I think the idea here is just hold on. Maybe even if you have to lift one of your bases, lift him, get onto the high ground.
Here we go. Desperate attack from Classic, looking to end the game. If he loses this fight, he loses the game.
TY is still in a good position, fanned out here, but this is that one opportunity you were talking about. If he wins the fight, he usually wins the game. And Dream, I said it again, TY gonna lose
everything pretty much.
He's gonna lose a lot of his army, but Classic still just gets pushed back.
He had to win this fight incredibly dominantly. He cannot trade evenly with this army even. He lost everything in the end. He's down 80 supply. It looks like Classic is going to be going to the loser bracket. Absolutely insane. Season 2 champion being rocked by this Terran.
Totally dominated here. That base, that backdoor base, he's just never able to hold on to. And he put so many resources into defending a base that was basically not mining, and then didn't focus on them, so they died to Widow Mines. He was just never able to defend.
A nuke to say goodbye. I think it went down though, but still bad position once again. Beautiful spread from TY.
TY just dominating again here. All these fights. GG. Listen to those screams in the crowd. TY gets out of the group in first place.
Absolutely insane. Brilliant work.
Defeating the defending champion in a best of 3 in the winners match in late game TVP versus the best pros in the world.
Yep. It really is something else when it can happen like that. TY just, with the builds that seem to work so well against Classic, because Classic is not prepared to be aggressive at all in the early game, not prepared to go for those Stargates, not prepared to apply any sort of blink pressure. He wants it to go late, but TY wants it even more.
Wow. Now, as you said before, you made a really good point. You said that for Classic, even if he loses this, he's still the favorite of the 3 that remain. But this is definitely going to shake him up a little bit. And he has been known to get emotional sometimes when things do not go his way. Wow, I'm still like a bit of shock that TY was able to win that.
I do love the start we are seeing from TY. It's like a bit of Flash in terms of